So can we please move to public comment, and we will try to keep this brief, the same rules that we announced before. So we're starting at 9:10 give or take, so 9:40 is when we turn off. Yes.
I actually want to kind of put a little softness into this. I think the biggest thing with the audit issue is that it's a set of expectations. It's a new thing. It was put in place kind of last minute, just before the audit was scheduled to start. And everybody's expectations were not set. It's like if the audit committee had been set up months ago and there had been communication, then everybody would have understood what the role is of the audit committee. But in fact, it was barely set up just before the audit was scheduled to take place, and everybody was on a different page. That's not a bad thing. And it's also to say that this was the first year that this audit committee was existing, and again, last minute, tried to put it together. It's not a bad thing. It's like to say, this is the learning process to say, all right, this is how we'd like to do it. This is how we will definitely do it next year. But this year, it's just messy. That's all right. And we can be okay with it being messy and trying to pick up pieces afterwards to get to a place of balance. But I think, what I'm also hearing today is in this section is a lot of it has to do with expectations, where the reason why, my impression, there's the reason why management is kind of on edge is because it's a new group of people with a new set of standards, and expectations are not clear. And if more communication happens all the way around from everybody involved, perhaps those expectations can be brought closer together and people will reduce their tension. And that's tension from the commission as well as tension from management. So my suggestion is work on that communication and try to get things done as early as possible so that everybody can be on the same page. And I think you guys will have a lot less problem and a lot less issues. So that was my thought. I hope that can serve all of you to move forward.
Thank you very much for that constructive comment. Anyone else?
Oh boy. Management, good job. Commissioners, good job. You're representing the taxpayers that own the mountain and just trying to keep an eye on things. I don't think it needs to be so confrontational. However, I would like to, there was a few things said tonight that I'd like to point out. Kathy rightfully pointed out that there's a bylaw provision that says that no one commissioner can act without an affirmative vote. The other, I believe, Commissioner Wood confirmed that. The language I use may not be 100% correct. And I also heard Commissioner Kedash state that Bob Durfee and his business, I don't know Bob Durfee, I never did any business with his company, I have nothing against either, did business with Gunstock even when he was the chairman of this commission. If I'm not mistaken, back in September 30th of 2020, Commissioner Kedash, unilaterally, without any authorization or vote from this committee, incurred legal costs and engaged legal counsel to initiate an investigation against Chairman Ness for allegedly attempting to do business with Gunstock. So my question is, did you do anything about Commissioner Durfee, or is it the standard not the same?
Yeah, the standard's not the same there.
So you have one standard for a commissioner to ask questions.
Ask me a question, will you let me answer?
I will.
Du Bois and King have been engaged by the mountain company for how many years? Is it 20 years?
More than that.
You know,
I have drawings
on and
from
on.
my predecessor from
20 years.
40 plus years ago.
And I said, there was a Chinese wall there. Robert Durfee had no means to benefit from business that would be done by Gunstock. And it was approved. It was approved by the commission for that to be done. And it was on the table. Ruth, you were there during this period of time. Can you confirm that we knew that and we approved it, and that Bob Durfee was simply an employee, not an owner? That's a different standard here.
So,
I can confirm, I don't remember all the details, but I can confirm my memory that Bob Durfee, on more than one occasion, totally removed himself from involvement in things that had something to do with his firm that he worked for.
Can I just clarify something
Chair-
from an audit perspective? All related party transactions are documented and part of the audit.
and once
So-
again, I have
No,
nothing against Bob Murphy, I don't know the
I want
man.
people to know, so there's transparency. So that
My
is
point
that-
is-
That's all disclosed on a yearly basis.
My point is, initiated legal action without any authorization, can we, that's not even disputable. Ultimately, $110,000 in a lawsuit that was spent over your witch hunt over Commissioner Ness. And I don't know Commissioner Ness. I don't think we've ever had 3 words outside of these meetings, have we? But you have never produced an invoice, you never produced a proposal, there's been no business done, maybe he might have mentioned it, but there was no violation. The same rules that you had put in that very expensive letter that your lawyer produced, the same rules apply to Mr. Durfee, but yet you chose to ignore that. So it's selective hypocrisy here. And I think maybe you should consider reimbursing Gunstock or the taxpayers, because this is ultimately public funds, for the money you wasted on lawyers on your little witch hunt.
Thank you for your time.
3 minutes.
Typically, you have your facts straight. It's something for you, it's what, you have your facts wrong. And we have one commissioner here, Rusty.
Correct me.
Let me
Correct
finish.
me. What facts am I wrong?
That I did not have authority to move forward.
Show me in the minutes when there was a meeting, there was a vote authorizing you to. Yeah.
4 commissioners there.
This is the wrong place to be.
I think that your point is well taken.
It's not.
Rule, and it's a reasonable question to ask, and we appreciate that. And Chairman Chair Kaidash, formerly Chair Kaidash, Commissioner Kaidash, is has his opinions as to what happens. I think that's something that's under review, and we appreciate your interest. So we have the next.
One more comment, please.
No more 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3.
If you were authorized, then I want to see the minutes authorizing it.
Look them up.
I did. It wasn't authorized.
All right, so next question, please.
Somebody else?
I just want to say that I think it's a mistake to ask the Gunstock employees not to be able to participate if that does move forward, just because we all are here, we're spending all this time here outside of our normal work hours. Most of us, if not all of us, are Belknap County residents. We're here to support these amazing group of people, and I'm sorry if you feel animosity, but we see what you're putting them through, and it's not easy to watch. And it does affect us as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Larson.
I agree with the young lady who just spoke. Moreover, I'm not sure what authority you, as chairman of the Gunstock Commissioner, or Dr. Strang, or any of you have to order employees of Gunstock to not speak at a meeting. I don't know that they really report to you, and what authority is there
So
to order them?
there was no order or pronouncement. I believe that what I said is we respectfully, this is a public comment period, and we're extending this this respect to members of the public, we respectfully request that gun-stock employees refrain from questions or comments and make those comments through their supervisor of gun-stock management. And I believe I qualified that by saying, this is a trial, we've not done this before, it's reverting to a practice of years ago. And obviously, everyone here had their opinions expressed earlier, and we made an accommodation to have this second period. And if people are taxpayers and employees, then so be it, they're welcome to comment. We were simply trying to afford time to people who were the public, that were also not in this dual role of employee and public. I'm sorry if there's any confusion.
There's no confusion.
Yep.
Next question.
Employees go.
Employees
Oh,
talk.
no, yes,
Employees
yes.
talk.
I was like, I didn't know what they were saying.
Delegates who talk too.
Yeah, listen.
Hi, Cindy Credo Miller from Meredith. I just wanted a clarification real quick on the Stockade Lodge because it was all kind of confusing. You are going to move forward with the approved money, the money that was approved last year at a previous meeting because there's already been $400,000 spent. And are you moving forward with the renovations and using that $400,000 that was already spent on equipment to put into the lodge?
I believe that what we determined earlier tonight is that next meeting we would have an updated rendering of what this new, let's call it new compromise, is for the dual purpose grab and grove, boot, what have you, will look like. And so the $400,000 is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's out the door.
Yes, it's out the door, and so what will happen to that equipment if you don't move forward? Because under the 1959 bylaws, section 39911, you cannot purposely create a liability as a commission for the ski area, unless I'm reading that rule wrong. But $400,000 is a liability if you don't use it towards what it was voted to be used for at the previous year. I know this came up at the last meeting as far as the previous meeting and the wording. But I just wanted to get a verification that that $400,000 will be spent eventually on the Stockade Lodge, which is what it was appropriated for.
So I guess our
I guess is what I'm
plan
asking.
is to go ahead to redesign what this would look like, incorporating what we already have,
Oh, good. So it
and
will
then
be put in.
satisfying everybody's
Oh, excellent.
sections.
Thank you for that.
We were kind of chatting way up front, then
Yeah.
communicating.
The other, can we move one of the events, can these meetings be at Gunstock? Do they always have to be here? Can we move some of the Gunstock meetings at
So
Gunstock?
it's a combination of, because when we're open, we don't have space, and we
Oh,
don't
okay.
really have meeting space. We have restaurants that can't really accommodate.
And you're open now for the summer, so you got
And
it.
actually. this
One more
is-
point and I'm done. Most importantly, I hope that the commission
3 minutes.
needs to realize how fortunate Gunstock is to have Tom Day and his management team working for the people of Belknap County.
Here, here.
If he wasn't the GM of Gunstock, I think Gunstock and the team would look quite different, and we wouldn't be in the positive reality that we are now from the past 2 seasons.
3 minutes.
I understand that. What's unfortunate is the pushback. You talked pushback from them, but the last month's meeting, that's the worst meeting I've ever experienced, and I've been on boards and on businesses, and I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed by it all. And quite frankly, I just encourage you to, let me finish, I encourage you to keep this management intact because they are doing such a great job.
Yep.
And I am going to write a letter to my current delegation asking them to enact 39917, which the powers of county commissioner can relieve some duties, the duties of some of the commissioners that are pushing back on purpose. I don't know what the agenda is. I think it's great to have agendas, but at some point, You have to listen and compromise. You can't always push back, especially when there's such a great management team. Why would you push back such great numbers?
Thank you for your comments, we appreciate it.
And remember November, you can vote.
Yep.
Mr. Murphy.
I will keep it short, because politics was just entered into this discussion with Remember November. I have watched the audience, I have watched commissions, and I have watched the management. I'm not long-term invested in what's going on here. My purpose was only to observe the politics. It's clear there is a discontinuity here. There's a lot of animosity. And frankly, I think the audience, mostly made up of employees, I think you have the right to free speech. I don't have a problem, but it's clear when you all yell in one voice about something that's said that you don't like, it's clear that it's political. And as for the lady who just spoke before me, you made it political. And I think almost all of this animosity that's going on is because a political power base shifted and it's not being well appreciated. And yes, I'm going to blame you, Gary, and Mr. Boards.
Thank you.
You're welcome
I appreciate
for
it.
being part of that. Because it's clear from the filings that I saw, there is going to be an attempt, and Mr. DeLuca outside in the corridor said, Sylvia and Silver are going to be gone, as you were talking to Mr. Boards. So it's clear that there's not just a management perspective going on here, but it's clearly political because of the commissioner's change. And it's not wanted, it's not desired, and I think that is the basis of the problem. That is, as an engineer, the root cause of what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you for your opinion.
I don't think this is political. I think that what is going on here is a result of a commission that seems to be harassing, questioning, and, you know, I guess restricting the operation at Gunstock for reasons that are unclear. You know, in the past, we had a commission that helped propose new ideas, that developed a master plan. And I certainly see that there are some issues with the master plan that not everyone liked, but there's been no discussion since this new commission has been made up of what a new master plan should look like, about what direction this commission wants Gunstock to go in. And I think that's where us as employees and public are having issues with the commission in general, is we don't see a direction from you guys about where you want Gunstock to go. We just see restrictions and questioning and investigations and committees that are making our lives difficult, but not helping us to, you know, make Gunstock grow to a better place.
Thank you for your comment. Can you state your name just for the record?
Dan Carbonell.
Oh, thank you, Dan. Anyone else?
Can I speak? I promise I'll keep it brief. But I think I have some perspective here. You know, I've been in the HR director position now for almost 11 years. And I've seen a lot of commissions, and the dynamic on the commission changes so rapidly. And it's unpredictable in a lot of ways. And I think our MO has always been, at least since I've been here, to do what we can to buffer the staff from the natural push and pull that comes from, you know, just, it's a body politic, you know, so politics can't really be taken out of it. And I think our official stance has always been to be decidedly apolitical as a management team. But our concerns, and I can't speak for everyone, but I do think, you know, I have a pretty good sense of, you know, what people are feeling. The past year has been particularly difficult, and it doesn't have anything to do with politics. I don't think it has anything to do with politics. It has to do with the way that the commission and the delegation are managing themselves in public. And I need to make sure that the commission is aware that this conduct, the fact that this meeting will be in the paper, maybe other places, in the end is not good for business. And whether we call it business or commercial activity or whatever we want to call it, it's bad for all of us. So I think the communication, you know, if email is not a thing, please propose another. We really, truly do want to make this work. Not to make you guys look good, sorry. It's really not about that. It's really, truly about the integrity of this organization and the sustainability moving forward. So I do hope that we can fix this. The emotions are very high because there's a lot at stake for many of us here. And if there's anything else left to be said, I'm really not sure what it is, because we do seem to just kind of be saying the same things over and over again. And I just hope we can do a little more listening.
Here, here. Excellent. Thank you for your opinion. Well, why not? Take the floor.
Sure.
Commissioner Smith.
And I'll be brief because of my voice. You know, I think I said it at the last meeting or the meeting before that our intention is not to create acrimony. Our intention is to do our job as a commission. We're representing the owners of gun stock, which are the people. We are at the top of the pyramid of gun stock. And just because we question doesn't mean we're questioning necessarily, but I, as a commissioner, and I can only speak for myself, do not want to be seen as somebody that's up here to simply rubber stamp. Okay? I think we witnessed tonight, we approved the parking lot. We had a discussion. Big deal. It was a discussion. I don't see anything wrong with it. At the end of it, we voted 5-0 to approve the contract. I think now we're all comfortable with it and we can all walk away from here and know we did our job. The Stockade Lodge, I think that was a very legitimate discussion. People that we talked to, and we're skiers there ourselves, some of us, probably all of us, had different ideas and viewpoints of what to do with that building. And honestly, we just came up with a compromise that I think is going to make everybody happy. All sides are going to be happy, and everybody gets a piece of what they would like. And I think that that is good. There is nothing wrong with that. Now, I know tone, sometimes it's hard to judge. Email tone is the worst. You can't send an email and pick up any tone out of an email. The Cannonball construction, we talked about that. We looked at it. It's a great plan. It's a good project, and it gets our blessing. The other things that we're talking about, looking at technology, there's nothing wrong with this committee understanding how the mountain functions. I know I felt, not that I had a problem, but it was given to me, and I learned a lot, and it's very impressive. Very, very impressive. Peg is very impressive. Kathy was impressive. Your presentation tonight was impressive. I don't see a problem. Now, I haven't been in to speak to you, not because I don't like you, or I'm also of the belief, I run a business and I'm not just going to show up and disrupt business. Tom, you know, I've said it before, I don't want to keep people from doing their job. So I think that we need to all stand back and take a breath here, because I think that we're injecting acrimony into the general operation that shouldn't be there. Some of the legal stuff, the jury is still out on some of that yet, okay? But that is not having anything to do with the ongoing business of what we're doing. I don't think anybody has a problem with Tom or anybody. I mean, I told Dave the day we went for the parking lot walkthrough, how impressed I was with Pat, with his knowledge and, you know, the work that had obviously been put into it. So it's not, we are not sitting here trying to disrupt things. We're really not. But we're sitting here trying to do our jobs. And we're going to continue to do our jobs. And if we ask questions, that's our job. I mean, I got a paper here tonight from the state. It's the liquor license. It's an affidavit I have to sign, a legal document. Tom's not signing it, Kathy's not signing it.
We are.
Well, I'm signing it too.
Yeah, all the commissioners sign it, and Tom and myself have to sign it. And we've
So-
already signed it because we're already listed.
So, but it puts us right up there as
Okay.
the bosses. So I just beg you people to please let us do our jobs and understand that we're trying to represent the concerns of the delegation, which I think they have some legitimate concerns. Okay? We're trying to make it so that the public is confident with what we're doing, with what the delegation is doing, and with what the administration at Gunstock is doing. So I just beg of you to let us do our thing. You know, we take input, we hear you, but we're also responsive. I think the stockade is indicative of the good things that we can do together. Thank you,
I'd
Mr.
like to ask
Chairman.
you a quick question. Just off your point, Doug, I think it would help us all if, to repeat your words, you are addressing the concerns of the delegation. So I think it would help, what are the concerns of the delegation that we can help? Because we don't know.
I would like to know that too as a delegation member.
I don't know what the concerns of the delegation, that's what you guys are doing, is addressing the concerns of the delegation. I think there's 3 delegation members here. I don't know what your concerns are. None of us do. I would love to know so we could help and remove a lot of this.
I think he was referencing the April meeting where Chairman Sylvia said, we would like to know where this suit came from. That's the major concern
Oh, we're
of
just
the
talking about the
delegation.
lawsuit. Oh, okay, so that's.
That's a
just
concern
small.
of the delegation.
Right, now I know, but
They
that.
wanted to know, how did this happen? Would you consider reimbursing us for our legal fees? I think
Okay.
that's what he was referencing.
Yeah, because I feel that we've, Tom and I have tried to address a lot of the noise, and have volunteered numerous times to speak to the delegation, or whatever that may be, to answer whatever these, you know, rumor mills are. So I didn't know if you had more, if it was just a legal, none of us
No,
can
we don't
hear
have
about
a checklist that we're coming to
Okay, well,
meetings with.
it sounded like it did.
And you know, I will say, there's a lot of money. We see it in your report. There's a lot of money here. And everybody wants to, at the end of the day, be confident that every penny is accounted for. Not saying it's not. Don't misread me, okay? But there happen to be some of us that look back at past delegations that think, I don't think they were doing their job. Past commissions, I mean. I don't think they were doing their job. Maybe not over you, but through the years. It's no secret that I have been here off and on through the years voicing concerns about Gunstock.
But can I just say one thing? Until 2 years ago, there wasn't any money.
Right. Nobody's denying the success, okay? And I'm the first to admit it. As a skier, up until 2 years ago, Gunstock, it was visibly different as a skier when you started running the place. Not a dig against some of the others. I think operationally, there were different philosophies that as a skier there were very palpable. And I've said it, and I think we all agree with some of that. So I just,
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
I can attest personally to the advances the mountain has made. This team, it really is incredible, and despite this perception of some that this commission is not driven to hopefully promote and maintain and wants the success of the mountain, I hope we can remedy that. I think we all see, obviously, that we need to be more mindful of the reputational harm that we may be doing to our beloved jewel. I just wanted to recognize everyone from marketing, maintenance, Tom, Kathy, Webby. Over the past month, I've been to Alpine Church, the Hill Climb. My God, earlier this week, I slept in a tent in the campground.
How was it?
I'm pregnant with twins. It was actually the best sleep score that I've had in months. So I really do want to recognize and go on record, it's not always we, but I think I can speak on behalf of this commission and say that we truly are very proud of the assets that we have in Gunstock. And I do want to recognize this team and all of you who actually do turn up. I think more people should come to the meetings and be aware of the facts. So with that, can we please move forward?
Yes, I think we're at our 30-minute second public comment period. So we do have a non-public meeting.
Croc TV.